Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be speaking why I feel that Naughty Dog needs to evolve. But before that, if you enjoy gaming videos or discussions on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC titles, then this channel is for you. So please consider subscribing as it helps the channel grow and you can join the amazing community that is being grown right on this channel. And thank you for watching, of course. Now, let's get right into it. So, warning. Okay, sound the alarm bells. I am not trashing Naughty Dog. I love them. They are one of my favorite developers when it comes to world building and story. But I feel that they need to evolve past The Last of Us and Uncharted. It's all they've made in the past 2 PlayStation generations. But because there's a rumor that they're developing Part 3 of The Last of Us to wrap it up, we need to discuss what could be next for the company. Now, as much as I love Uncharted, trust me, I love Uncharted a lot. They're one of my favorite game series. Time they move on from that. If you've played the 4th one, or you've played all of them, you know that this story was finished up with a nice bow. Nathan Drake and Elena Fisher retired. They had a kid. They have their own treasure spelunking channel on TV. They make money. It's great. And I mean, it's happy ending. They live on the Caribbean. It's beautiful seas. Sully and Nate's brother Sam are on to better things. And I know what you're saying. I know. Didn't they tease his daughter to pick up the reins from him? As in the end of the game, she finds what is a cabinet kind of drawer, not drawer, kind of like a storage closet full of all of his adventures wrapped in. And he goes to explain how he met her mother, Elena, and how all of this factored into one picture from the first game of them with all the gold that was part of the El Dorado discovery. Now, of course, while that is the case, I think at least the series should be put on ice for a while. We've had Uncharted. We've had enough of it. Let's let it take a break. Let's, pull the reins back and do something else, because the last game was in 2016 and DLC, of course, releasing later that year. And I mean, I just feel like we can let the series rest, as I believe it needs some time away, because I feel like there's a fatigue building with third-person shooters just due to the amount that are coming out with PlayStation exclusives and third-party companies, and Xbox, of course, making some. And I think, we need to let that series rest. I feel like we could see Naughty Dog create another Uncharted, maybe starting with his daughter as a reboot kind of thing, in 2026, 27, or even 28. Kind of let them make the next Last of Us, the final Last of Us game, and then let them begin this new IP, and then we could see maybe a new Uncharted. Because I feel like people would be kind of mad on it. I don't think people would be really excited or impressed. And it's going to be a solid game. It's Naughty Dog. They would make a solid Uncharted game. I don't think that people are going to really perceive it that way. I really do feel like Last of Us Part 3 should be the last Last of Us game we should get, ever. Really. Because I love the contained story. Now, granted, the world is beautiful and it'd be fun to explore, but I think it is beautiful being its own contained story. I don't think we would need much out there. But, of course, it would be cool if we got it. I wouldn't be opposed. I just don't think we need a spin-off or prequel game for a little while due to, of course, the controversy Part 2. And, there's a full-fledged multiplayer game coming out sometime in 2023. So I just feel like when Part 3 comes out, it's just like, you're going to be done. You're like, okay, I've had enough Last of Us. Move on. And if they tried to make a prequel or a spin-off game, it wouldn't hit as well as Part 1 and Part 2 did, because it's just fatigue. The same with Uncharted. I just think these 2 series are becoming kind of tiring, and people want different new IP from Naughty Dog. And I just think that if they kept making these games in the future, they wouldn't be as solid, due to we just wouldn't receive them the same way because we're tired of them. That's a very common trend in gaming, is series you come to love, depending on how many they make, it's just not as good because you're just tired of it. You want new things. So, of course, here's where the topic begins, really. I believe that Naughty Dog are world-class storytellers, maybe even being the best at PlayStation. So with that, I think a new IP would be great. A beautiful story that can include The Last of Us, kind of depressing, dark story, while mixing it up with their upbeat, lighthearted fun from Uncharted and Jak and Daxter. And I think that they should explore sci-fi or the past, as we have seen the apocalyptic world and modern day game series from both Uncharted and The Last of Us. And I just think it'd be great to go to the past or go to a sci-fi future. I feel like a great story-driven, potentially survival horror type of game from them would be great. I mean, imagine them making a game in the genre of Dead Space or Resident Evil, but it's their own thing and it works. Um, they invent new mechanics. They invent new worlds, new environments that just define them as, okay, Naughty Dog can also make survival horror as well as the greats. And I just, man, we've seen that tease of horror in The Last of Us and even Uncharted 1. I mean, in The Last of Us, you had those dark corridor sections with those big monster zombie things. And then in Uncharted, you had the whole submarine section in Uncharted 1 where you had to fight these Nazi, like, mutated creatures due to the El Dorado treasure infecting them because it has, like, a curse on it. I think that they could make a really good sci-fi game that takes place on an abandoned ship. Dead Springs. I digress. But or on a planet that has been infested and you have to escape as the infection is spread to all the creatures and an intense plant life. And of course, it could be your home or it could be a place you want to make home. And now it's going to be turned into your potential grave and you have to escape fighting from the vines, the plant life, like the Venus flytraps trying to kill you and the people being infected by this plant infection and the animals trying to kill you too, and you're just trying to escape with tooth and nail. And you're trying to crawl this planet to get to a ship that might work, but it's been there since the beginning of the terraforming process. And due to that, it's old and desolate, so you have to repair it, and hopefully it'll take you where you need to go. That would be awesome to have a type of sci-fi survival horror game from them. But I could also imagine them taking you to the 40s or 30s and have a noir type of game where there is a murder that you have to solve, but it's not normal. And as you discover more and more about it, the conspiracy climbs higher until you are realizing that the murder was done by a high official and now they are hunting for you because they know you know and they need to cut you out or they will go to jail. Like they will fail. The people will turn on them. It could be a government organization, nonprofit, something important at this point in the world that they're building for this potential future game. Of course, I don't work for Naughty Dog. It'd be great though. Yeah, like it'd be so cool. And I mean, I could see Naughty Dog utilizing the puzzle mechanics they use in Uncharted by reforming them into this LA noir kind of interrogation system to talk to suspects as they are the puzzle. You have to figure out what gets them to tick or study their movements, figure out how to get information out of them before you lose them completely. And that would just be so fun. And also talking to people about crime scenes that are stricken with horror as they witness something horrific that doesn't happen that much in their time period, opposed to now. And you see the shock on their face, and you use that shock to try to get information because they're an open book at this point. I just think that it would be cool as well to create a political thriller set in the backdrop of bustling New York or Hollywood, because those were growing rapidly at the time periods I've mentioned. They were becoming the New York and the Los Angeles. I mean, Hollywood was growing. You had stars like Marilyn Monroe come up in the future, and John Wayne, Clint Eastwood, all these actors and actresses that define what Hollywood was that are sort of beginning at this point. But you get to see that, and you get to understand how Hollywood is becoming corrupt and twisted in this political thriller as it ties to the actors and actresses that are connected to these political types that are being paid by maybe the mob or something very cool and creative that would be interesting to explore. Because I think they could make a really great game where it's not all combat. It's a game where you're really understanding the world and beginning to appreciate what's built. And then you're put in combat and it kind of surprises you because you didn't expect combat and you kind of get lost in it. And then you go right back into exploring the world and talking to people and understanding how people tick and how the corruption is fed to its deepest corners of even the lowly class people just trying to survive in a either Great Depression 1930s or a World War II America, trying to fight with the food stamps they've got due to the rations being implemented for war supplies to be sent to the Allied troops on the front. Just be really cool to explore that. And I mean, I just think, just I just think if they explored the rising and falling of stars of classic films and moments captured, it'd just be a cool thing to play and live through in this game. But I will say, I don't believe Naughty Dog will ever make a Jack and Daxter again. I just think it's been too long, and I think that they've even said that they're just not interested in doing it. It's something they're not really crazy interested in. I mean, the studio is now focused on making serious titles. That's what they have defined themselves as. They make very dark and serious titles that really grip you and put you in an experience that you may not enjoy, but that's what the game wants you to feel. That's what they want to capture. It's just very Naughty Dog now. It would be really kind of weird if they made a fun Jack and Daxter game. Not that it wouldn't be a problem, not that it wouldn't be fun. It just would be a different tone, which Naughty Dog is good at. They're good at making different tones and really putting you in that world of the tone applied. I just think the studio is more focused on making more serious titles that, like I said, put you in fun and dark situations depending on what game you play. But whether Naughty Dog decides to create another Jack and Daxter, new IP, or another Uncharted or Last of Us, it's going to be great. I just fear that it won't be received as well because Naughty Dog right now is at a crossroads. It's, do we keep making Last of Us and keep making Last of Us and Uncharted, or do we make a new IP and break further ground and maybe establish a very popular IP again for PlayStation to carry on to the next couple console iterations? It's, that's the thing about Naughty Dog is they are really good at establishing PlayStation icons. And what will be the next one? I'm hoping they innovate. We're seeing right now in this console generation, there's not much innovation. We're having remakes and reboots. I want more innovation. I think you two as the viewer do as well. As much as you love these games, as much as I love these games, we want new stuff because it gets boring. And you kind of underappreciate the developer due to them making the same game or the next game in a series that you're done with. You're ready to move on. Let's get something new. And I'm very afraid that if they continue down that, they're going to lose people because they're not making new innovations of game titles, you name it. So I really want them to hit the mark with a new IP like they did in Uncharted and other games. So, of course, that's all I've got for y'all. I appreciate you guys watching the video, and thank you if you've made it this far. You made it to the end. Good job. You made it. Proud of you. And again, you've made it this far. Why don't you consider subscribing? Helps grow the channel. Hey, helps bring more audience members in to grow the community we're building currently. And, make sure to like the video and hit the notification bell to get updates. You've already subscribed. Why don't you hit that notification bell to be updated when I upload next? But, of course, guys and gals, until next time, I'll see y'all later. Peace.